Good afternoon. Welcome back to the National Training Center here in Clermont, Florida. The 2012 FHSAA Softball Championships. It's time to crown our first state champion here in 2012. The 1A state final between the Lafayette Hornets out of Mayo with a record of 24-4, coached by Derek Garland, and the J Royals out of Santa Rosa County in the Panhandle with a record of 21-3. Along with Corey Davis, I am Marty Paulman, bringing this game to you on the FHSAA network, and Lafayette will be the visiting team. So we'll go ahead with their starting lineups. Leading off and catching is number 4, Lydia Land. Batting second, the shortstop, number 2, Sydney Shows. Hitting third at first base is number 9, Stacy McClellan. Batting fourth and pitching in the circle again for Lafayette today is number 1, Lindsay Osteen. Hitting fifth at third base, number 11, Kaylee Sharp. Batting sixth and playing second base, number 12, Kaylee Law. Hitting seventh in left field, number 22, Ellen Lashley. Batting eighth in center field, number 6, Ashley Freeman. And hitting ninth, the right fielder, number 10, an eighth grader, Lacey Swafford. And they will face the pitcher for the J Royals, number 19. That is Sydney Lowry, sophomore. As Jay defeated Port St. Joe yesterday 7-5. They got 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th to win the game in their first ever appearance in the FHSAA State Softball Finals, looking for their first state title in softball. This is Lafayette, who lost in the 2010 2A final to Pine Castle Christian 6-2. Lafayette defeated Union County 14-4 in 6 innings last night. So there is the 1-0 pitch. That's a ball 2-0 as we start off with Lydia Land, the catcher for the Lafayette Hornets. 2-0, that's in the dirt for ball 3. Defensively for Jay at first base, Camille Driver. The second baseman is Michaela Stewart. The third base is Olivia Wright. At shortstop, Tessa Hendricks. In the outfield, Brittany Gilman in left. The center fielder is Ashlyn Geck. The right fielder is Samantha Stedham. Becca Calloway is behind the plate. And Sydney Lowry in the circle, and she walks Lydia Land on 4 pitches. Corey, we talked a little bit about the Land family and how far back they go with Lafayette yesterday.
Yeah, it's got one heck of a family tree there.
And there's a line drive into center field quickly in the first pitch for Sydney Shows. Land heading into third. She will get there. Shows going to second. She's safe and a good start for Lafayette. And this is a team that can score a lot of runs. And Sydney Shows with a single, and she advances to second, hitting .349 coming in. And now second and third already, nobody out for Lafayette, who came in hitting .374 as a team into yesterday's game. 256 RBIs, 311 runs scored.
And now they face the most dangerous hitter in this entire 1A Final Four.
This is Stacy McClellan, the first baseman, a senior, heading to Indian River State College. Yesterday she had a couple of hits, was walked twice, drove one off the center field wall before the rain delay. Lafayette had to wait till about 10:30 last night to finish off their semifinal game. Started at 5 o'clock yesterday. About an hour, 10 minutes in, we had a 3-hour, 20-minute rain and lightning delay as that pitch misses. Now 3-0. It was 5-4 Lafayette at the bottom of the 5th. The Hornets came back, scored 8 runs in the 5th, and then a run in the 6th to run rule Union County 14-4. Well, they are staying patient and
that was
trying to stay careful. Yep.
You know, yesterday you were saying unintentional, intentional walk.
Yeah.
Well, that's what that was.
So the base is loaded, nobody out already. Now Lindsay Osteen, it's not like you get a break here. Osteen, 7 home runs, 38 RBIs, and a .389 average coming into this tournament. And yesterday she was the winning pitcher. Will start today in the circle as well. And the pitch on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. So Lafayette, look at some of their totals this season in some of their games. 26, 22, 16, 19, 24, 19, 20, 15. That's in for a strike, 0-2. And in the playoffs, 10 against Brantford, 17 against Hamilton County in the District 5 tournament. And in the regional, 6 against Hilliard, 11 against Bell, and a run rule win to win Region 3. That's right up the middle, base hit into center. It's going to score Lydia Land. To the plate is Shows. And now the throw to third is in time. But Lafayette takes a 2-0 lead as Osteen drives in 2 and then gets to second base. McClellan is out at third. So the Hornets off to a quick start in this 1A state championship game. Somebody will win their first state softball title today. Jay won a couple of girls basketball titles and cross country. Sorry?
I said, don't get all my secrets away now. I was going to get to that later.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, you got to tell me that. First pitch outside is a ball to Kaylee Sharp, 1-0. Well, we can talk about it later. And Sharp takes the pitch low, and there goes the runner to third. There's nobody there. As the third baseman, Olivia Wright, came up the line looking for the bunt, Becca Calloway had no one to throw to, and down to third goes Lindsay Osteen. 2-0 on the way is up high, and it's 3-0. So a tough start for Sydney Lowry so far for the J Royals. Lafayette leads it 2-0. Hit to second. That'll get the run home. Throw to first is in time as the play made over there by Michaela Stewart. Kaylee Sharp with an RBI. Scoring McClellan. It's 3-0. So again, the Hornets off to a good start. Actually, that was Osteen scoring, pardon me, as McClellan was out at third earlier. So 2 out, nobody on. And here's Kaylee Law, the second baseman. First pitch in for a ball, 1-0. That is down the middle for a strike, 1-1 to Kaylee Law. Second baseman, senior or junior Kaylee Law. Excuse me. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Derek Garland won his 100th game this year at Lafayette. 118 wins, 57 losses in his 7th year. 3-2 is hit in the hole to short. Throw across is dropped.
She dropped it.
Oh. Tessa Hendricks had it, threw it across, and the first baseman driver drops it. So it'll be an error on the first baseman. And Kaylee Law will get to first base now with 2 outs. So now Ellen Lashley, the number 7 hitter, will hit for the Hornets. That's the first error of the inning. There have been 2 hits, 2 walks, and now an error as the first pitch a strike to Ellen Lashley.
Lashley had the big hit last night in the 5th inning. If you remember, Marty, she's the one that hit the ball to right field. And,
yeah.
And the right fielder misplayed it, and she scored all the way from the box.
Yeah, at the time it was still 5-4, so she came all the way around to score to make it 6-4, and then the floodgates opened. 7 more runs for Lafayette in that 5th inning, and they went from a 5-4 lead to 13-4, and the game was over. Lashley will bunt it to third. Quick play as the coming over. Good play by the second baseman as Michaela Stewart came over to cover on the bunt. A nice throw by Wright, and she waited just long enough, and they were able to get Lashley out. 5-4. That'll end the top of the first. But Lafayette with 3 runs in the inning on 2 hits. There was 1 error and 1 runner left on base. We go to the bottom of the first in this 1A state championship game. Lafayette 3 and Jay coming to bat. This is the 1A state championship game from the National Training Center in Clermont here on the FHSAA network. Marty Paulman along with Corey Davis. Now the starting lineup for the Jay Royals, who enter at 21-3. And they will face Lindsay Osteen, the pitcher for Lafayette. Leading off and playing third base today for Jay is number 10, Olivia Wright. Batting second in center field is number 11, Ashlyn Geck. Hitting third, the shortstop, number 12, Tessa Hendricks. Batting fourth and catching, number 33, Becca Calloway. Batting fifth and playing first base is number 7, Camille Driver. Hitting sixth in left field, number 4, Brittany Gilman. Batting seventh and pitching, number 19, Sydney Lowry. Hitting eighth and playing second base is number 3, Michaela Stewart. And batting ninth in right field, number 22, Samantha Stedham. Lindsay Osteen got the win yesterday for Lafayette. That brought her record now to 10-2 on the season. She's a 5'10 junior, and she will face Olivia Wright, the third baseman for the Jay, to lead it off. First pitch right down the middle for a strike, 0-1. Defensively for the Lafayette Hornets at first base, it's Stacy McClellan. The second baseman is Kaylee Law. Kaylee Sharp at third base. Shortstop is Sydney Shows. In the outfield, Ellen Lashley in left, and there's the ball hit down the third base line. It'll fall foul out of play, out of the reach of Sydney shows. Ellen Lashley in left field, Ashley Freeman in center, Lacey Swafford in right, Lydia Land is behind the plate, and in the circle is Lindsay Osteen.
Osteen was the starting shortstop 2 years ago in the 2A state title game against Pine Castle Christian.
Most of this Lafayette team was here.
8 of the 9 starters.
Except for Lindsay Hamlin, the all-time career leader in home runs, or season leader in home runs, which Stacey McClellan was getting close to, as that pitch misses outside for ball 1-2. So 1-2 the count. And there's a high drive to center, and barely having to move out there
Ashley Freeman.
is Ashley Freeman for the first out. Olivia Wright will fly out to center field. 1 out. And we'll bring up Ashlyn Geck, the center fielder. It's hot?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, we don't have a all shade. I'll move over here a little bit. As this late afternoon, the late afternoon hitting, and there's some clouds to our south and west now, but right now we're okay. It is warm. Bunted by Geck. Osteen got to hurry, and not in time. It's going to be an infield hit for Ashlyn Geck. Kaylee Law came over to cover first, but it's an infield single off the bunt for the J center fielder. How do we know that 8 of Lafayette's 9 starters were on the
Because we read it in the
How about we just knew that? How about that?
We read it in the Gainesville Sun, thanks to Cliff Olson. And
No. We just knew that. That was common knowledge. 1 out. Runner at first. Here's Tessa Hendricks, the shortstop. And
yes, Cliff, I knew that
too. Well, 3 runs in for Lafayette in the top of the first. They lead at 3-0. Swing and a miss there by Hendricks, and it's even at 1-1. We talked yesterday about Lafayette, 2 state titles in their school history. Volleyball this year in 1A, and then football back in 1981.
And Marty, that was a really impressive run by the volleyball team too, by the way. They lost the first game of the year. I want to say it was either Bell or Trenton. Did not lose the rest of the year. They won 25 in a row.
That's right. 2-1. It's in the dirt for ball 3, and now it's 3-1 as Osteen falls behind. Jay on their road to Clermont defeated Poplar Springs 4-1 and Holmes County 7-6 in the Regional 1 tournament. Oh, right back to Osteen. She knocked it down. Well, made the throw to first, almost in self-defense. Went right off near her kneecap. And moving to second is Ashlyn Geck, but now 2 outs. And the district tournament beat Chipley 11-5 and Holmes County 5-1. And Jay yesterday defeating Port St. Joe 7-5. Meanwhile, Lafayette in the district tournament 10-0 over Brantford, 17-2 over Hamilton County. In the Region 3 tournament, defeated Hilliard 6-1 and Bell 11-0 in a run roll game. Yesterday beating Union County in another run roll game 14-4 and 6. Becca Calloway, the catcher, bats and takes the first pitch for a ball 1-0. And that's outside, now 2-0. Two and 0 the count.
Oh, Clef.
Ooh, called a little bit high.
I tell you, this is our 3rd day or second or third. Feels like 3 days already. But
yesterday was long because of a 3.5-hour rain delay. It's only the second day. Yeah.
But I tell you one thing, we're having to guess on these strikes and balls because it seems like the plate just moves every single game.
Well, every umpire has a different look at the strike zone. It's 3-1 now. There's ball 4. So Osteen walks Calloway with 2 outs. First and second, 2 outs for Camille Driver. Lafayette led 3-0 yesterday until the top of the 4th. Union got 4 runs at the top of the 4th today, Union County. Lafayette got 2 more in the bottom of the 4th. And then we went to the rain delay at the bottom of the 5th at 5-4. It moved the 5A semifinal to this morning. That was our opening game of the day. 1-0 up the middle into center field for a base hit. Geck will come to the plate. The throw's not in time. Heading into third as Land knocked it down is Callaway. Actually, I think they got a runner over there for Callaway. Down to second goes Driver. It's 3-1, so here comes Jay. A 2-out rally here, and now a chance to tie up the game with a base hit. Earlier today, our 5A semifinal moved to this morning due to yesterday's rain. It was Plantation American Heritage defeating Auburndale 11-6. American Heritage will play tonight at 7:05 against Bellevue for the 5A state championship. Bellevue yesterday defeated Ponte Vedra 6-4. First pitch, a ball to Brittany Gilman, the left fielder. It's 1-0. Jay showing some comeback skills here early on. That's on the inside corner for a strike, 1-1.
See, that looked like a ball outside too, so.
1-1 on the way. Okay, inside.
Looked like the same spot.
2-1. 2-1 is on the outside corner for a strike, even now 2-2. On deck, the pitcher, Sydney Lowry. Lafayette with 3 in the top of the first. Jay with a run here in the bottom half of this 1A state championship game. That is outside for a ball, 3-2. Count goes full. Tonight, Kelly Neff will have the call of the 5A championship game. Bellevue looking for its first state softball title. American Heritage has won 4, the last time in 2009. Hit down the third baseline, out of play over the dugout, and remains full, 3-2. Tomorrow, the 2A and 6A semifinals, starting at noon. Well, starting Class 2A. Full count pitch again is ball 4. Boy, Osteen having a tough first inning now after getting 2 outs with a runner at first. A walk, a single, and a walk, and the bases are loaded with 2 outs for Sydney Lowry. Now a meeting in the circle with the Hornets and their infield.
She did get the first couple batters out, right? So they've done all
she
this
gave
with
up
2 outs.
Osteen got right to fly to center. Geck singled. Hendricks grounded out. 2 outs, and then the last 3 have reached.
Yeah.
So here is Lowry. First pitch is a strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1.
A very late called strike, so.
Lindsey Osteen. And McClellan, by the way, is actually the other top pitcher on this team. It's now 1-1. She's 10-0 this year to go along with her 64 RBIs and 7 home runs. Inside corner for a strike, 1-2.
Actually, Marty, all 4 pitchers are on the field right now.
Osteen is 10-2 actually right now. Yes, they
First
are.
base,
Callie Sharp.
Callie's playing third. Lacey's out in the outfield right now.
1-2 outside for a ball, 2-2. Osteen pitched yesterday, going all 6 innings against Union County. She had a 1.96 ERA coming into yesterday. 2-2's popped up. That's going to get foul into the net, and that'll get out of play. They moved this net in front of us away, so there's a bit of a hole there where Brian is now, our camera guy down there.
He's not dancing right now.
The love bugs have settled down a bit. 2-2. Ooh, wow. Inside for ball 3. 3-2. Yeah, they were pretty bad this morning. We were out here between 10 and noon, but they seem to have maybe a little gone away for the afternoon. The heat, possibly the wind, who knows. Sun is out. It's full 3-2 with the bases loaded. The pitch Foul back to the screen. Lowry stays alive. Big first inning for both teams. Lafayette gets the 3 runs in the top half. Jay trying to answer. They already have a run on the board. Three and 2. Infield in, except at shortstop. Now infield shortstop is also even with the bag. Ball 4. And there is a run for Jay. It's an RBI for Lowry. Callaway will score. It's 3-2. And that's 3 walks in the inning for Osteen. Now the crowd from Jay, the big crowd here, is loud and getting on their feet. Now a meeting in the circle with Derek Garland. A little surprised to see Osteen having this control problem. So 2 are in, the bases are loaded, still with 2 outs, and here is Michaela Stewart, the second baseman, the number 8 hitter in the order for Jay, 8th hitter of the inning. Jay has answered Lafayette's first 3 runs in the first with 2 of their own here on 2 hits and 3 walks. Infield in at first and third, the pitch. That's hit into right field. Going to drop for a hit. The game is tied. They'll hold the next runner up as Driver scores. Gilman holds it third. It's 3-3, and the bases are loaded still.
Wow.
Boy, oh boy.
Nice answer for the Royals there.
We're on pace for a 21-20 game. Well, Jay answering with 3 runs after Lafayette got 3 in the top half. Lindsay Osteen is not having a good inning. Number 9 hitter, Samantha Stedham, takes the pitch for a ball, and she is falling behind every hitter, really.
All 3 runs with 2 outs. I mean, that's the incredible
That's right.
thing.
She is now allowed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hitters in a row to reach. There's a strike, 1-1. So Lafayette getting off to that early lead, and they give it right back to the Jay Royals. 1-1 is hit foul off to the right side out of play. Here the dugout, it's 1-2. Top of the order, Olivia Wright on deck. Jay has batted around here in the bottom of the first. One, 2, hit in the air to left field. That's trouble, but now moving in, making the play is the left fielder out there. That's Helen Lashley, and that will end the bottom of the first. But the Jay Royals answer Lafayette's 3 with 3 of their own. 3 runs on 3 hits, 3 walks, no errors, 3 left on base. A lot of 3s that inning.
Yeah.
As we go to the second inning of this 1A state championship game, it's Lafayette 3 and Jay 3 here on the FHSAA network. Marty Paulman along with Corey Davis as we bring you the 2012 FHSAA softball finals, the 3rd year they've been held here in the National Training Center in Clermont. 2 teams here in Class 1A looking for their first state softball title.
Some interesting notes I know about Jay. In fact, you already mentioned some of this, but Jay is going for their 7th all-time state title. Thanks to a couple of coaches at Jay, we found out that the girls basketball team won back-to-back state championships from 1995 and 1996. They were Class 2A girls basketball state champions. They beat First Academy and Lakeland Christian. They also went to the Final Four in 1998. And also, from 87 to 91, they were 4-time consecutive state champions in cross country.
So that was some good information to find there.
And we'll have some other notes after the next inning or so.
Jay, because we were looking for that, wondering, you knew they hadn't won softball before. As the first pitch to Ashley Freeman is in for a strike, 0-1. I guess if you're Sydney Lowry, you got to feel pretty good here after giving up 3 runs in the first. You're tied up again. That pitch is up and in, 1-1. But Jay has won state titles. We mentioned Lafayette before, but this will be the first state softball title for either one. And in 5A tonight, Bellevue looks for their first state championship. It's American Heritage. They're a team that's no stranger to that. Up high, 2-1. 8-9-1 for the Lafayette Hornets here in the top of the second. Two one is a swing and a miss. Good pitch by Lowry. Now even again at 2-2. And now a love bug has descended on me. Guess I spoke too soon. It's called strike 3. First strikeout of the game for Sydney Lowry. 1 out in the second. Freeman strikes out looking. So 1 out. Here's Lacey Swafford, the right fielder, the 8th grader, who hit over 400 this season. And it's chopped foul by the catcher, 0-1. 403 coming into this tournament. Yesterday was hit by a pitch, walked, scored a run. 0-1 is outside corner strike, 1-1. Lydia Land is on deck. And 0-2 misses outside, 1-2. Lydia Land, a sophomore, whose sisters Natalie and Kelsey played for Lafayette softball. Hit in the air. Nice running catch there by the second baseman on the run to her right. That's Michaela Stewart. And Swafford pops up to second. 2 outs here in the second inning. So here is Lydia Land, who walked and scored in the first. Lydia Land, who was hit in the nose of the ball during batting practice before the regional semifinal game against Hilliard. And then the regional final went over Bell. She suffered a cut in her left hand when she was thrown out in the first inning on a play at the plate. So they moved her from catcher to second base for that game. That's the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. We mentioned last night that her sister Natalie played at UCF in softball.
Second baseman, been there about 3 years now.
0-1, chopped to third, goes off the glove of the third baseman. Land's going to reach as it went off the glove of Olivia Wright down there, and Lafayette will get a runner at first with 2 outs. See what they call that.
It's got to be an error.
Can't see the scoreboard. Well, Land reaches. Yeah, it will be an error. We'll call it an error. I'm not waiting. First pitch to Shows, hit to shortstop, and the play is made over on the fielder's choice by Tessa Hendricks. And that will end the top of the second for Lafayette. Fielder's choice, 6-4. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 runner left on base. We head to the bottom of the second, the 1A final. It's Lafayette 3 and J 3 here on the FHSAA network. Marty Paulman along with Corey Davis, both teams with 3 runs in the first inning. Lafayette, the visiting team, got 3 on 2 hits. Jay answered with 3 runs on 3 hits in the bottom half.
We talked about Lydia Land and her famous ties, obviously, to Curran Bell. Her sister obviously plays at UCF on softball. Been there 3 years, and as we said yesterday, was a 5-time Gainesville Sun Player of the Year. But her middle sister, Kelsey, played on the team 2 years ago and was at the state Final Four team.
Yeah, that's right. And we mentioned Natalie now at UCF, also a great basketball player at Lafayette. You see the J lineup. And they batted around the first inning, so they'll start back with Olivia Wright, the junior third baseman, leading off. Ashlyn Gack in center field hits second. Tessa Hendricks, the shortstop, batting third. Becca Calloway, the catcher, hitting fourth. Camille Driver at first base, batting fifth. Brittany Gilman, the left fielder, hitting sixth. Sydney Lowry, who's in the circle, batting seventh in pitching. Michaela Stewart batting eighth. Samantha Stedham hitting ninth as Jay ends their lineup with 2 8th graders. in the 8th and 9th spots. See that a lot more in softball with the 8th graders coming up.
Oh, yeah. Well, in some of these schools, you have a 6 through 12. So it's pretty common to see a 7th and 8th graders on varsity.
So we start at the bottom of the second with Olivia Wright, who flew to center her first time up and pitches inside 1-0. The information on Lydia Land is brought to you by the Gainesville Sunscliff Olsen. I guess I better say that. Hit down the first base line out of play. I didn't have to say that.
Now, Cliff,
but he's going to continue to bug me on texts.
But I
can't read other things than from the Gainesville Sun, but it's 0-1 to Olivia Wright. But that's where that info came from, as she was hurt in both regional games. Lydia Land behind the plate for Lafayette. 2-1 the count to Olivia Wright. And it's in for a strike. 2-2 now to the leadoff hitter for Jay. Getting a nice breeze blowing now through the National Training Center here in Clermont at the softball complex. 2-2. Hit back to the backstop, and it remains 2-2. Tomorrow we start back at noon with our first 2A semifinal game. Kelly Neff will bring you that game as well as tonight's 5A championship. As it gets going tomorrow with Sheridan Hills Christian out of Hollywood and Boca Raton Grandview Prep. Fouled off, and now 2-2 the count to Wright. Chopped foul down the third baseline out of play, and it remains 2-2. And the 2-2 on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 3. First strikeout for Osteen, who walked 3 in the first, and Wright is 0 for 2. One out here in the bottom of the second. She got Wright to swing through that one, did Lindsay Osteen. Not a lot of strikeouts for Osteen this year. Only 50, 65, and 72 and 2/3 innings coming in to the state semifinals. One out here is Ashlyn Gex. Singled and scored in the first inning for Jay. Showing bunt, and does bunt it. It's foul as Land, the catcher, retrieved it, and it's 0-1.
Well, she's not really overpowering. She's more just put the ball in play and just let her defense help her out.
Corey Davis with us here has been a prep writer for 20 years.
20 years.
We've been out of high school that long?
Yeah, 20 years this summer.
With different publications, including the 0-1 is bunted, again fouled on the third base line, and it's 0-2. The Florida Times Union, Clay Today, Lake City Reporter.
We don't need to mention all of them, but yes.
Swanee Democrat.
I don't need to mention all of them.
Every paper in Northeast and North Central Florida at some point, right?
Yes.
You don't need to mention all of them?
Something like that, yes.
Okay, we won't mention all of them. Sorry. He's been a writer for a long time. He knows knows his stuff. The 0-2, chopped to third. It's foul, out of play. Just saying, you've covered a lot of teams.
Indeed, I have. I've been in many Final Fours.
Just past the third baseman Sharp there, but it's foul, and it remains 0-2. One out here in the bottom of the second. And up high for a ball, 1-2. Osteen looks in, infield in at first and third. Hit up in the air on the infield, and Osteen will make the play herself outside the circle for the second out here in the bottom of the second. So with 2 outs, here is Tessa Hendricks, the shortstop, who is 0 for 1 with a ground out to the pitcher, 1-3. Got any more tidbits about Jay?
I do, but
We'll wait till the half inning.
Yeah.
Pitch outside, 1-0. Looks like Osteen trying to settle down a bit after her rough first inning, as did Sydney Lowry for Jay. And that pitch misses, now 2-0.
Marty, can you tell me what county Jay is in?
2-0. Outside for a ball, 3-0. No, it's in the Panhandle. It's near Pensacola, between there and Panama City. Walton? No. That's in for a strike, 3-1. Not Escambia.
Santa Rosa.
Santa Rosa, yes. Ah, Santa Rosa, that's right. Jay is out of Santa Rosa County. 3-1. Swing and a miss as Osteen takes a little bit off. It's full 3-2, and Lafayette is in Lafayette County.
That is correct.
No
tricking you there.
In the town of Mayo.
That's right.
Union County is from Union County. Fort St. Joe, who played Jay yesterday, is out of Gulf County.
That is correct.
3-2 is hit foul and out of play. Look out over there. The Team IP van takes a beating. I thought it was heading over there towards our play-on truck. At some point, Keith and Mitch are going to get a bang on the door from a softball over there. Almost got you that time. Popped up to second base. Play is made. And it's Kaylee Law making the catch on the soft pop fly. And, wow, what is that on our monitor? Is that a wasp? Holy cow.
Where? Oh.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Oh, man, all kinds of critters out here. As Hendricks pops.
All right, Marty, see you later.
Hendricks pops up to end the inning.
I'm allergic to wasps.
And Osteen comes back to get Jay 1, 2, 3 in the second. We go to the third. And the Hornets, that wasn't a Hornet, but they're tied with the Royals 3-3 as we go to the top of the third.
I would gladly tell you this, Marty. We're talking about some little nuggets here about these teams. In the latest Miracle Sports state poll, which came out sometime this week prior to the Final Four.
It's actually on
May 4th.
Friday last weekend.
Yeah. Lafayette, which knocked off Union County last night. Lafayette's ranked number 1. Union County's number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Jay is ranked number 3. They defeated number 2 Port St. Joe yesterday. So we have the number 1 versus number 3 in the state playing tonight for championship. Or this afternoon, I should say.
Mm-hmm. And the second place team was Port St. Joe. Yep.
Yeah.
So we had
knocked off Port St.
Well, they had the top 4. I'm not sure if they planned it that way after the regional final. But,
no, the top 4 basically is the Final 4 teams.
All right, we go to the top of the third. And leading off, it's Stacy McClellan. She walked. She's running at third back in the first inning.
She had the intentional walk.
You like that?
Yeah.
1-0 to McClellan, who fouls it off just to the left of home plate. It's 1-1.
Well, I didn't get it until just seeing it a few minutes ago.
Yeah. She walked on 4 pitches. The 1-1, pardon me, that's in for a strike? No? On the ball. I thought I heard the home plate umpire.
She may not see another strike the rest of the tournament.
That one was a little closer, but yeah, it's 2-1. Union County didn't want to mess with her yesterday, and that's hit in the air to left field. Coming in, it drops and gets past the left fielder. McClellan heading to second base. She'll get in as Gilman tried to make a diving catch, and a good backup behind her by the center fielder, Ashley Geck. But that is going to be a double for McClellan.
And who comes up to bat right behind her? Lindsay Osteen. And this is what we talked about yesterday. If you intentionally walk McClellan, you have to deal with Osteen. Osteen came through yesterday. Osteen's pitching again today. She got the clutch hit in the first inning that gave him the 2 RBIs. Now, here's another chance to help herself out on the mound.
So you're right. Osteen singled in 2 runs in that 3-run first. Both teams scored 3 in the first, and we're 3-3 here on the top of the third. First pitch hit to third. Nowhere for McClellan to go. The throw across the in-time. Now McClellan will go to third. As the throw was made over by the third baseman, Olivia Wright, and that's 1 out. But again, McClellan now goes to third with 1 out. Osteen now 1 for 2. And here's Callie Sharp, who drove in a run with a ground out back in the third. Ground ball to short. It gets behind the shortstop. That's going to score McClellan to throw the first down in time, as Hendricks couldn't come up with it over at short. And Lafayette retakes the lead 4-3. Probably would have been an infield hit either way for Sharp. We'll see the ruling.
You have to get that one error, I think.
An error?
Yeah.
Oh.
It went right through her legs.
Yeah, it was kind of a backhand, though. I don't know if they get Sharp, though, either way, but we'll see the call. And they did call it an error. Okay, second error of the game for Jay. So Lafayette takes the lead, and now base hit into left field. The first pitch by Kaylee Law. Law's 1 for 2. Sharp to second, and now Lafayette again getting the bats going like they did in the first, as they have 4 hits, and first and second only 1 out. Ellen Lashley will bat. She's 0 for 1. Lashley grounded out 5-4 her first time up. First pitch misses for a ball 1-0. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-1 to the number 7 hitter in the Lafayette order. Sun remains out here, and it's around 90 degrees. Fair amount of humidity hit down the right field line out of play. And it's 1-2 now to Lashley. First and second with 1 out. Already a run in for the Lafayette Hornets here in the top of the third. 1-2 is inside. And the throw to first almost caught Kaylee Law napping. She just gets back in as the throw down by Becca Calloway to first base. And now the home plate umpire are going to talk to Sydney Lowry. The count is 2-2. That was a short discussion. Not sure what about, but it's 2-2 now. Field plays in at first and third. Hit 2 past the first baseman into right field. Throw at first, they almost had her as the good play there by Samantha Stedham. Good idea to try and get Lashley. She just beat the throw to first. The bases are loaded with 1 out. 3 hits in the inning for the Hornets, and now a chance to really, again, break it open a bit with Ashley Freeman at the plate. The center fielder struck out looking in the second for the only strikeout of the game so far for Lowry. 5 hits now for Lafayette. Infield in now at every position. First pitch inside for a ball 1-0. And that's a strike down the middle, 1-1. Lacey Swafford is on deck.
Marty, I'm told that if we need any help with any information as far as Lafayette sports, whatever, a couple coaches have volunteered to come on.
1-1 popped up just foul down the first baseline. Is unable to come up with it was Camille Driver. It's 1-2. Sorry?
A couple of coaches from Lafayette are in attendance today, and they said if we need anybody to come in here and give some information about Lafayette sports,
come on up.
They would be glad to come up here and talk.
We're sitting on the balcony right above you. 1-2. And that is hit on the infield, and the play will be made. That's actually an infield fly rule. Hendricks makes the catch, and so that's a big second out as Freeman pops up to the shortstop. So 2 outs, and now a chance for Lowry to get out of the inning with only the 1-run scoring against Swafford, who's 0 for 1. The right fielder for the Hornets. Infield in at first and third against the left-handed hitter. And the first pitch outside, 1-0. 1-0 is hit off the glove of Lowry, and she can't come up with it. A run will score on a play that looked like it was going to go right into her glove. She mistimed the jump. It hit off the top of her glove, and it looked like she had some time to get Swafford, but just took too much time, and it's 5-3. That's going to be an error on the pitcher.
I think we had a pinch runner on second now, too, or something.
No, that's Lashley.
Still there. They're pointing to second base for something.
Well, Sharp scores. It's 5-3. Now with 2 outs, Lydia Land's going to hit for the 3rd time in 3 innings. He's 0 for 1. Walk scored in the first, reached on an error in the 2nd inning. Did they call that an error?
It had to be an error on the pitcher.
Yeah, it was an error on the pitcher. So now Jay has committed 3 errors. I'm sorry, they've committed 4 errors. And that is really hurting them at this point. And now
Yeah, I have 4 errors, yeah.
the umpire will come out. 1-1 the count. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 2 in for Lafayette here in the top of the 3rd. And they lead at 5-3. 4 errors for Jay. None for Lafayette right now. That's popped up. That's trouble. And on the run, did she make the catch? She did. What a running catch out in left field by Brittany Gilman, going over to almost center, and she robs Lydia Land probably of 2 more runs at least for the Lafayette Hornets. They do get 2 in the inning on 3 hits. There were 2 errors, but they do leave 3 runners on base. We go to the bottom of the 3rd of this 1A championship game. Lafayette leads Jay 5-3 here on the FHSAA Network. Marty Paulman and Corey Davis joining you here from Clermont. We will crown our first state champion here in girls softball for 2012 this afternoon. And we'll move over to 5A later tonight as Bellevue will take on Plantation American Heritage for the 5A state title.
Marty, this is also some interesting little information here. Andrea Watson, which owns Endless Delights over there in Jay, she feeds the team before every game. Andrea Watson was on the 1988. She was on the last. I almost said Auburndale. Jay Final Four team in slow pitch in 1998. So there's another little tidbit there about Jay softball.
Actually, 1988, I think.
Yeah, that's 1988.
And I believe Derek Watson, the current coach, is related.
I don't know that. I just.
Oh, okay, sorry. I thought
it didn't say that. So.
Brian Watson, I'm sorry, who's that coach at Jay. Interesting. So we go to the bottom of the 3rd. And here is Becca Calloway, the catcher. 4-5-6 up for the Royals of Jay. He batted it around. The first scored 3 runs. Lafayette gets 3 in the first as well. Lafayette with 2 in the 3rd. And they now lead at 5-3. Here in the bottom of the 3rd, Calloway walked and scored in the first. That pitch in for a strike, 1-1. Osteen still in the circle. The 1-1 outside. It's 2-1. And the 2-1 is hit high and way foul off to the left out of play. It's going to make it up onto the berm over there. And it's 2-2. So 2-2 the count, even. And what do we have? Playing umpire looking towards the circle. And now back to, there we go, it's 3-2. Okay. So the 3-2, that's hit high again and foul off to the left side. And it's full 3-2. Calloway, the catcher, awaits the full count pitch from Osteen. Hit foul back to the screen, stays alive full, 3-2. Good crowd here on both sides. A lot of folks made the trip from Jay in the blue and the red and white of Lafayette. Hit in the air to center field. Backing up towards the warning track, making the catch on the run out there. Nice running catch for Ashley Freeman, 1 out. As Calloway hit it well.
A freshman center fielder making some big senior plays right there.
Made some nice catches. Had a nice play on the run. One out here in the third. So there's Camille Driver, singled in a run, scored in the first. As the shade comes in, hit in the air to right field, and backing up this time is Swafford, the 8th grader. She'll make the play, and there's 2 outs. Osteen is not really fooling anyone, but she's getting some pop flies.
Talk about having to fill some big shoes. Freeman is taking over for center fielder from last year, Cartasia Macklin, who's now at Southern Illinois and was the freshman of the year.
Yeah, freshman of the year in the Missouri Valley Conference. We did talk about that some yesterday in basketball. Very good basketball player at Lafayette. 1-0 the count. The first pitch to Brittany Gilman, who walked, was left stranded in the first. And that pitch outside 2-0. The wind just picked up a little bit.
Yeah, nice little breeze there, making some of the humidity go away.
Also got cloudy, which makes me wonder if the rain may be getting a little bit closer, but it looks okay right now. That's a strike on the outside corner, 2-1. Yesterday it started right about this time, about 5 o'clock. I think it rained steadily for almost an hour.
Don't mention that word there.
Oh, come on. I don't believe in that. I cried out. You might cry it out. If you say it, it will happen.
Exactly.
Well, it's going to happen whether I say it or not.
No,
the 3-1 is bunted and foul, so it's full 3-2. The way things have been going, though, regardless of what I say. Full count, 3-2 with 2 outs. As now Osteen, after the rough first inning, has set down 6 in a row. She looks in. And the 3-2. Hit back to the screen. Again, Gilman stays alive. Another full count pitch coming from the right-hander Osteen to the right-hander Gilman. And popped up, and the play made on the infield. Soft liner, and the shortstop, easy catch over there for Shows. And 1-2-3, Jay goes quietly in the bottom of the third. Osteen is now retired the last 7 in a row. We head to the 4th in this 1A softball final, Lafayette 5 and Jay 3, which you're watching here on the FHSAA network. Marty Paulman along with Corey Davis. And we will talk a little bit more about the 5A championship game here in a little bit. But right now we're going to decide a champion in 1A.
Marty, a couple other little tidbits here about Jay. Done some research during the break. We had 2 of the players' moms were on the slow pitch Final Four team in 1988.
Okay.
What?
No, that's right. That's what I was trying to think of,
okay.
that connection.
Caprina Holly and Caprina Upton and Morgan Holly. Their mothers, Wendy Upton and Bailey, were also members of the 1998 slow pitch softball team that made the Final Four. So kind of a cool little angle there also.
That's interesting. Funny that they haven't been back since. That was the old slow pitch.
Yeah.
Final Four. Top of the 4th starts off with a chopper back to the circle. Lowry has to hurry. Good play on the ground ball there by Sydney Shows, and a good scoop there by Driver on the stretch. 1 out. Shows grounds out. 1-3. Shows is now 1 for 3, and that's 1 out in the 4th. Stacey McClellan has walked and doubled, scored a run. She's 1 for 1 again today and takes the first pitch high for a ball, 1-0. Top of the 4th. Do you walk her,
Marty?
I don't know. 1-0 with nobody on. 1-1 as that pitch is in for a strike. So I think she will go after Will Lowry. One. It's low, 2-1. Lowry has gone 3 in the third innings, allowed 5 hits and 5 runs so far. 3 of those runs earned. There's a long drive into center field. Going back, it's going to drop all the way to the fence. Extra bases for McClellan. She will head to third. The throw is not going to be in time. And that time, the center fielder really got a little bit caught up as Ashlyn Geck turned around. I think she thought the ball was going over her head, and as it turned out to hit right next to her, the wind maybe messed with her a little bit. But that is a triple for McClellan to go with her double last inning, and she's at third with 1 out.
I mean, at some point, if you're opposing coach, you have to walk her.
I don't disagree with that call with nobody on base, but you know.
Right, but I mean, she's going to burn you.
Well, there's Osteen, and now Osteen will burn him with one all the way to the gap in right center field. Easily scoring is McClellan. Osteen's heading to third. The throw is not nearly in time. It's cut off. So back-to-back triples, and that's the only problem. If you walk McClellan, Osteen can do that.
Yeah.
And she drives in another run.
Her third RBI.
She had 38 coming into the week. Of course, McClellan had 63. But 3 RBIs, like you said, for Osteen. It is now 6-3. By the way, McClellan needs a home run and a single for the cycle. So 1 out, another runner at third, another run in for the Hornets, who lead at 6-3. And again, the wind is picked up, but we've got some cloudy skies. It's definitely cooled off a bit here at the National Training Center in Clermont. Here's Callie Sharp. Drove in a run. That gets back behind the catcher. Here comes Osteen. She's safe. It's a wild pitch. Callaway just reacted a little too slowly to that, trying to get it back to Lowry. Osteen scores, and it's 7-3. So now Lafayette, with back-to-back 2-run innings, has opened up a 4-run lead after they opened up a 3-run lead in the first. Jay answered with 3 in the bottom of the first. Now 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth for the Hornets. 1-0. As we said, Sharp today 0 for 2. Grounded out, drove in a run in the first, reached on an error, scored in the third. And it's 2-0. The 2-0 now to Sharp, the third baseman. That's in the dirt for ball 3. 7 runs and now 7 hits for the Lafayette Hornets. Back-to-back triples in this inning. Getting 1 run home, and then the wild pitch just scored Lindsey Osteen. And now the 3-0. Taking all the way, and it's ball 4. So Sharp reaches for the second inning in a row on an error last inning, a walk this inning. And that is the third walk of the game for Sydney Lowry. She had 2 in the first as well. And she has struck out only 1, and we may have a pitching change as Brian Watson comes to the circle. Maybe not. Looks like just a meeting right now in the middle.
There's your little buddies, Marty.
They're back, somewhat. Still not as bad as it was this morning, but they're back a little bit. We have a lengthy meeting here. We'll see what Jay decides to do, and looks like they will stay with Lowry. So 1 out. The runner is at first now, and Kaylee Law, who's 1 for 2, she's reached on an error and singled. First pitch on the way from Lowry is right down the middle for a strike 0-1. There's a drive hit into center field, going to drop for another hit. Law's 2 for 3. Into second goes Sharp, and now Lafayette really starting to hit the ball around the ballpark. First and second, 1 out. 3 hits already in this inning, and now 8 in the game for the Hornets.
And if my calculations are correct, 6 of the 9 batters have hits.
Your calculations are in fact correct. Okay. And everyone has reached base for the Hornets. There's a drive into right field. Another. They're going to try to play it first, not in time. As she came off the base, they're going to go to third. No, they're not. driver came off the bag, so it's a single for Lashley, who's 2 for 3. She has 2 hits the last 2 innings, and the only players that have only one player has not reached base, sorry, for Lafayette, and that is Ashley Freeman, who's at the plate right now.
Yeah, 8 and 9 don't have a hit so far.
Well, a run didn't score there, but the bases are loaded with 1 out. It's 7-3. And Freeman pops it up. That's trouble. Going back, caught in center field, deep right center. That will score the run, though, easily, as Sharp will score to make it 8-3. And Freeman, who still hasn't reached base, does get an RBI with a sac fly to center. Nice catch out there, though, by Ashlyn Geck on the run. Now there are 2 outs. So 3 runs now in the inning for Lafayette, and they have increased their lead to 8-3. Swafford takes the first pitch outside, 1-0. First and second, now 2 outs. We talked about Lafayette's offense coming in.
Very potent lineup there. Not just the middle part either.
In 28 games this year, they have had double digits or more runs 18 times. They're well on their way today as it's hit foul by Swafford, 1-1. Swafford 0 for 2 today, did reach on an error in the third.
What was that stat you just gave?
In 28 games this year, double digits 18 times.
Okay.
Hit to second, bobbled, but the play made there by Stewart. She throws on the first in time, and she gets Swafford 4-3. But 8 more batters to the plate for Lafayette. For the second inning in a row, they sent 8 to the plate. They pick up 3 more runs on 4 hits. No errors in the inning. There was a walk, and they leave 2 on base. We go to the bottom of the 4th of this 1A state championship game. It's Lafayette 8, J3 here on the FHSAA network. Marty Palman along with Corey Davis as we now are at 5 o'clock here on Tuesday afternoon, the National Training Center in Clermont. 8 runs, 9 hits, no errors for Lafayette. 3 runs, 3 hits, and 4 errors for Jay. And Lindsay Osteen in the circle for Lafayette now with a 5-run lead, and she is retired the last 7 Jay hitters after giving up 3 runs in the first. Let's go Royals chant starting up here.
You and I talked about this last night on the drive home. Lafayette's trying to do something here with trying to win double state titles in the same year. They won volleyball in the fall and trying to win softball in the spring. To my knowledge, the only school to win volleyball, girls basketball, and softball in the same year was Lake Mary in the late 90s.
Yeah, you brought that up last night. We talked about that a little bit. Lake Mary, not far from here in Clermont. It's the first pitch to Lowry outside for ball 1-0. Lowry walked to the bases loaded, bringing in a run in the first. The Jay pitcher.
That had to be 1998 because softball won in 98.
Popped foul. It's 1-1. That's an interesting triple. Yes, Lake Mary did win in 98, beating Barron Collier in 6A that year. That was when the finals were at Auburndale, the Auburndale complex, where they were until 2001.
I remember that complex very well.
Also spent 4 years at the Ed Radis Sports Complex in Tampa. And then 4 years in Plant City Stadium, which used to be the home of the Cincinnati Reds in spring training. It's a ballpark they turned into a baseball park, they turned into a softball park, and then 3 years here at Clermont. Hit up the middle into center field, base hit. Lowry reaches. First base runner for Jay since the first. She's reached base twice today, and that's the 4th hit of the game for the Jay Royals. We'll probably have a courtesy runner, I'm assuming, down at first base. Let's see. Maybe they'll let the pitcher Lowry run. No, I think we will have a runner, in fact. Yep. And that will be number 20, Taylor Moore. So Moore will run for the pitcher, Lowry. And a leadoff single here in the bottom of the 4th. Here's Michaela Stewart. She singled in a run in the first.
They were talking about Carl Bell, so I was trying to talk to her.
Stewart bunts it. It's foul as it goes off the hand of Lydia Land in foul territory. It's 0-1. Stewart singled in a run in the first. We said she's 1 for 1 today. She got all 3 of their runs back in the first. Lafayette scored 3 in the first, 2 in the third, and 3 in the fourth. Oh, 1 to the number 8 hitter, Stewart. Pulls it back. The throw will go to second, and it's going to be cut off. It's not nearly in time, and Moore will steal second base. Throw was a little bit high by Land, and able to run it down with Shows. So it's second now with nobody out is Taylor Moore, the courtesy runner. 2-1 the count. It's bunted back to the circle. Osteen's only plays to first as the second baseman Law will cover. Sacrifice 1 to 4, and that'll move Moore to third with only 1 out. So a chance for Jay to get a run home here in the bottom of the fourth as Samantha Stedham, the number 9 hitter, will hit the right fielder. Flew out to left early, bat 0 for 1. Stedham hits it just foul over by the Lafayette dugout, and it's 0-1.
It's funny because I was eavesdropping on the conversation to the left, and I heard this guy go, "Mayo, isn't that where Corin Bell's from?"
Duh, weren't you listening to our broadcast? So you're going to miss it. 0-2. I think we went over this yesterday in great explanation. 0-2 the count. But to recap,
Lafayette is trying to win their...
Well, Lydia Land, the catcher, is the niece of Kerwin Bell.
Correct.
0-2 is outside 1-2, who led Lafayette to their first state championship in any sport, football in 1981.
And
the current
her
volleyball
mom
coach
is the volleyball coach.
Is Lydia,
is Kerwin Bell's sister.
Natalie Land and Kelsey Land also played softball and basketball at Lafayette. 1-2 hit in the air to center field. Backing up is Freeman. She'll make the play. And the throw comes to the plate. It's a good throw, a high throw, but it's up the line. And scoring is Moore. A RBI sac fly for Samantha Stedham. And it's now 8-4 as Jay gets one of those runs back here in the bottom of the fourth. So now back to the top of the order, and Olivia Wright. Wright is 0 for 2. He's flown to center and struck out. So that's the story of Lafayette. Kerwin Bell as the first pitch to Wright is a ball 1-0.
You know, it's kind of funny because, you know, for so long, that's all they've ever had to talk about was the 81 state champion football team. And
2-0 outside.
If they're able to hold off these last couple innings, they will have won 2 state titles in the same year.
Welcome to the new Class 1A. 2-0, here's the pitch. Down the middle for a strike 2-1. Osteen in the circle still for the Hornets, and that's going to be a strike inside corner, even 2-2. She's now allowed 4 hits and 4 runs in 3 2/3 innings. She walked 3 on the first and has 1 strikeout. Two. High and outside full, 3-2 now to Olivia Wright. Ashlyn Geck on deck. Somebody come get these screaming kids, please. 3-2 the count with 2 outs and nobody on. The pitch popped up on the infield. Kaylee Law has it, and that'll end the bottom of the fourth for the Jay Royals. The Royals do pick up a run on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We head now to the 5th inning of this 1A state final. It's Lafayette 8 and Jay 4 here on the FHSAA network. Marty Paulman along with Corey Davis. Kelly Neff is in the building. Saw him earlier, and he will bring you the 5A championship game tonight between the Bellevue Rattlers and the American Heritage Patriots out of Plantation. Should be an interesting game as Bellevue was knocked off quite a few good teams on their way to the state championship game, including Ponte Vedra yesterday 6-4 with 2 runs in the top of the 7th. And
I mean,
will get a chance
any team that's knocked off Creekside,
North Marion,
Ponte Vedra, and
Tavares,
North Marion, and Tavares, 4 quality teams that were one-time state ranked, has a solid chance to win tonight's game.
And that being said, American Heritage definitely has the edge in experience with 4 state titles. Bellevue has never played in a state championship game in softball. And
I think you and I might disagree about who wins tonight, but
well, I don't know.
I still like American Heritage chances.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bellevue's been impressive. We'll see how they handle the stage. They handled it pretty well yesterday. That's coming up tonight, though, about 7 o'clock, the 5A state championship game here on the FHSAA network as we start the top of the 5th with Lydia Land, who is 0 for 2. She's walked and scored, reshun an error. And first pitch of ball 1-0. Back to the top of the order for the Hornets to begin the top of the 5th. There's a strike outside corner, and it's 1-1. One on the way from Lowry, hit into left field, and a nice running catch as coming in to make the play is Brittany Gilman for the first out in the top of the 5th. Land is now 0 for 3 today with 2 nice catches in left field to rob her of hits by Gilman. So here's Sydney Shows, takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. Shows is 1 for 3, singled, scored in the first, into a fielder's choice and grounded out to the pitcher to first, 1-3. The 0-1, hit to first, tough hop, it gets past the first baseman. They have a shot at her, but it's not in time as it gets past
I think
Driver over there.
To hit. I don't think that was...
It was hit very hard, and I don't even know if Driver saw it. Stedham made a good throw to try to get her. It's a single. I'm going to give Shows a single. 2 for 4 today. 10th hit of the game for Lafayette, and she's at first with 1 out. Now, guess who's up? Big number 9, Stacy McClelland. First pitch is a ball 1-0, and Shows will head back to first. McClelland, a double, a triple, a walk. 2 runs scored. Double, a triple in the last 2 innings. The 1-0. And they're pitching to her, and that misses. Well, we'll see if we're pitching to her. It's 2-0 now. But again, Osteen's on deck. She has 2 hits and 3 RBIs today. And that is in for a strike, so it's 2-1. Hey, Brian Watson is not shying away from facing Stacy McClelland. You're shaking your head as it's...
I mean, it's hard to believe, yes, because you don't want to give her...
ball 3.
You don't want to give her anything over the plate.
Well, we'll see if they do that. It's 3-1 now.
What is she sitting on now? Like 68 RBIs?
Oh. No RBIs today. 65. She had 2 yesterday. That's in the dirt for ball 4. That's ball 4 either way. Okay. So for the second time today, the intentional walk for McClelland. So she goes to first. Down to second is Shows with 1 out. And now you'll face Osteen. 2 for 3 with a single, a triple, 2 runs scored, and 3 RBIs. These 3-4 spots today are a combined 4 for 5 with 4 runs scored, 4 RBIs, 2 triples, a double, and a single between McClelland and Osteen. And the dirt out, get away. The runners will move up as it gets past Callaway. We'll call that a pass ball. Shows to third. McClelland to second with only 1 out.
A base hit here, and she'll have 5 RBIs on the day.
And not only that, but she's winning in the circle. And that pitch in for a strike, and it's 1-1. So far, the winning pitcher in this game for the Hornets. Once again, as we saw yesterday around this time, the clouds and the wind picking up. That's in the dirt, 2-1. 8-10-0 for Lafayette, 4-4-4 for the J Royals. 1-1. It's chopped slowly to short, only play to first. Did they get her? Ooh, close play. They did, but another RBI for Osteen. Good play, though, by the shortstop as Hendricks threw her out. 6-3, but now Osteen with 4 RBIs, and it's 9-4 as Shows scores. McClellan to third now with 2 outs.
And now the senior Callie Sharp up to bat, and she's one of the 3 girls that doesn't have a hit so far.
She has driven in a run and reached base on an error and a walk and scored twice, so she's been busy. It's 0 for 2 today. First pitch a strike from Lowry, 0-1. Now the 0-1, swing and a miss. Good pitch on the outside corner, and again, Sharp went after it. It's 0-2. She drove in a run with a ground out in the first at Callie Sharp. McClellan's at third with 2 outs. Another run in for Lafayette. It's 9-4. Fouled back to the backstop, and it remains 0-2. 3 runs in the first, 2 in the third, 3 in the fourth, 1 here in the fifth for Lafayette. Jay with 3 in the first and 1 run in the bottom of the fourth. It's 9-4. Hit to third. Nice play, knocking it down. Good throw across in time as Olivia Wright makes the play, throws out Sharp 5-3, and that'll end the top of the fifth for the Lafayette Hornets. The Hornets pick up another run on 1 hit. There was a walk, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Lafayette 9, Jay 4 in our 1A state championship game here in the 2012 FHSAA softball finals for the National Training Center in Clermont here on the FHSAA network.
And the crowd's over here talking about "Let's Go Mayo." I heard the.
It sounds like "Let's Go Royals."
The funny thing, well, I hear "Let's Go Royals" over here, and I hear "Let's Go Mayo" over here. Well, last night during the whole rain delay and then the restart, Union County's crowd started saying "Mustard, Mayo, Mustard." It was kind of one of the funny things.
That was an easy joke.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm sure they've never heard that one before in Mayo.
Right. Ketchup.
Which is located right up in the Big Bend area of Florida. See them in Lake Butler. They played last night with Union County. Apparently a little further than I realized, about an hour and a half distance, or hour and 15-minute
Buddy
drive.
Cliff, an hour and 20 minutes away.
Maybe that's for him driving 40 miles an hour. I didn't think it was that far apart, but I guess he's right. It is about an hour.
2-lane highway, you never know.
That's true. Lafayette beating Union County in the semis last night in a game that was delayed almost 3.5 hours by rain and lightning. And today they're trying to win this 1A state title as Jay opened up with a win over Port St. Joe yesterday in the first semifinal 7-5. Bottom of the fifth, here was Ashlyn Geck to lead it off. First pitch up and in for Lindsay Osteen. It's 1-0. Geck with a single and a pop to the pitcher, 1 for 2 with a run scored. And the 1-0 from Osteen as the infield comes in at first and third, and it's outside 2-0 as Geck able to hold up her swing. 2, 3, and 4 up for the Jay Royals here in the bottom of the fifth. (2-0). It's up high, now 3-0. Osteen looks in the 3-0, and that is in for a strike 3-1 against Ashlyn Geck. Tessa Hendricks on deck. Becca Calloway also due up for the Jay Royals here in the bottom of the fifth. (3-1) pitch on the way from Lindsay Osteen is down the middle for a strike. Full down 3-2. Osteen walked 3 on the first inning, but has not a lot of walks since. There's allowed only 1 hit and 1 run since the first inning, that coming there in the bottom of the fourth. She has definitely settled down. Meanwhile, Lafayette has been adding runs the last 3 innings and called inside ball 4. So there is the 4th walk of the game for Lindsay Osteen, her first since the first inning, and Geck gets on base, lead off the bottom of the 5th. Tessa Hendricks is 0 for 2. She's grounded out 1-3 and popped out to the second baseman and lined out. She's 0 for 2 like we said, and she'll bat with that runner at first. Hit into left field. It's a base hit. Here comes Jay. First and second, nobody out. As Hendricks gets her first hit of the game. 5th hit of the game for Jay, and they've got something going here in the bottom of the 5th. And now Becca Calloway, the catcher, will come up. Walk scored in the first, flew out to center in the 3rd inning. She's 0 for 1. Boy, just when you think Lafayette trying to pull away, Jay tries to come back again, as they've done already on one occasion today after the 3-run first by Lafayette. They answered with 3 in the bottom of the first. Yeah. 1-0 the count. In for a strike, 1-1 to Callaway. And the pitch on the way. Hit into left field, and that'll drop for a hit. Rounding third, coming home is Geck. Now they have the runner between second and third hung up. I think she got back in. She did. Hendricks gets back into second, and it's 9-5. RBI single for Callaway. And now Jays had the first 3 hitters in the 5th reach base. Geck scores for the second time today to make it 9-5. First and second, still nobody out. Boy, the Jay Royals not going away. There's Camille Driver. She singled in a run in the first, scored as well in that 3-run inning, and float out to right field, 1 for 2. That's hit into right center, gonna fall for a base hit. It's bobbled, the run will score, it's 9-6. Driver has 2 RBIs, her second hit of the game, and all of a sudden, Lafayette can't get an out, and Jay has had 4 in a row reach as Hendricks scores. The tying run coming to the plate with nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th.
All of a sudden, Jay's making some noise now.
Yeah, wow, this has been a wild game. We were 3-3 after the first. Lafayette got out to an 8-3 lead in the bottom of the 4th. Jay got a run on the 4th. Lafayette another run on the top of the 5th. And now 2 here in the bottom of the 5th for Jay, and there's still nobody out. First pitch to Brittany Gilman is a ball, 1-0. Gilman has walked and popped to short. She's 0 for 1. Osteen now struggling again, and she walked batter again this inning, and that runner ends up coming home to score. That's on the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. Now the 1-1 on the way. It's bunted, but foul as Land will catch up to it. It's 1-2. First and second, nobody out. 1 run in, 2 runs in, pardon me, for Jay already in the inning. 7 hits now for the Royals. There's called strike 3. Big time for a strikeout for Osteen. That's only her second of the game, as Gilman takes that one looking, and that's 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. So here's Sydney Lowry, the pitcher, who reached base twice today, walked in a run with the bases loaded in the first and singled in the 4th. 1 for 1 with a run with an RBI as the first pitch in for a strike, 0-1. Sometimes it's interesting being outdoors. Infield is in at first, second, and third. 0-1 the count to Lowry. First and second, 1 out. Pitch way outside. It's 1-1. As Michaela Stewart is on deck. 7th hitter now in the order for Jay at the plate, Sydney Lowry. And the 1-1 on the way. Ooh, that hitter. Osteen up and in, hits Lowry, and the bases are loaded with only 1 out. And now Stewart's getting hit. Stewart singled in a run in the first, sacrificed in the 4th. She's 1 for 1 officially.
Here comes the rain.
Really? No.
You don't feel the raindrops?
Nope, not yet. Sure I will any moment. We'll salvage some of our electronics here. Yeah, it's been cloudy for a while now, and We've been holding this off as long as we can this afternoon. Let's see really any umbrellas coming up as Stewart again will hit. And hits it to second. Law's going to come home, and she got her. No, she's safe. Okay. Boy, I think land is shaken up again as somehow Callaway slid under the tag. And I think Derek Garland is not happy with that play. And there he is. He is angry with the umpire as that slide takes out land, and he is all over. Both the coaches are. For Lafayette, and I thought that throw beat her. He's still arguing with the home plate umpire. It's 9-7, and the bases are loaded still with only one out. Now the rain is starting to come down a little harder. Callaway comes home to score. 9-7, 3 runs are in, and boy, Derek Garland is hot.
And he has every right to be.
I think he does too. That looked like she was A, the throw beat her, B, the foot was on the bag, and C, you can't really slide into a runner like that in softball, but it's 9-7. Samantha Stedham is 0 for 1, drove in a run with a sac fly in the 4th. Infield in again. Hit to short. They're coming home. This time they will make the play, and Land keeps on the base, and she keeps on the base double time. And the fielder's choice, 6-2. She's a little bit frustrated there. Out at home is Camille Driver, and now 2 outs of the bases are still loaded. Now the top of the order, it's Olivia Wright. Wright's 0 for 3 today. It's 9-7 here in the bottom of the 5th. Jay with 3 runs in the inning on 3 hits. We've had a hit batter, a couple of fielder's choices, and a walk as well. First pitch up and into Wright, 1-0. Wright has flown out twice and struck out. The Jay fans are back on their feet, and they are excited as their team has gotten back into this game. 1A state championship game now being played in the rain. Up the middle, into center field, base hit. This is going to tie the game. Throw to the plate's going to get away. We are tied 9-9 in the bottom of the 5th.
Wow.
9 batters to the plate as Wright goes to second. Over to third is Stedham. And 5 runs in the inning for the Jay Royals. What a game.
Wow.
Jay bats around here in the bottom of the 5th. And now here is Ashlyn Geck, who started this inning with a walk. She scored twice today. Almost hard to believe if you're Derek Garland. You had a 3-0 lead in the first. Jay answered with 3 in the bottom half. As the first pitch is inside, 1-0.
A 9-3 lead.
Lafayette made it 8-3.
9-4
and the fourth, 9-4 going into this inning, and Jay answers with 5 runs. 1-0 the count to Geck. Hit the second, and Law will run it over to McClellan covering first, 4-3, and that ends the bottom of the 5th. But 5 runs in the inning for the Jay Royals on 4 hits, no errors, 2 runners left on base. We head to the 6th. It's all tied up, 9-9. In our 1A state championship game here on the FHSAA network between Lafayette and Jay. Marnie Paulman and Corey Davis. Reminds me a little bit of our first game today in 5X. How Auburndale could never really catch American Heritage. They got behind 6-0 in the first. I think the closest they got was 10-6, but Jay is not giving up today at all.
Yeah, they've come through with 2 big innings in the first inning and in the 5th inning to tie this game again.
Well, I don't have the benefit of the replay there, but Apparently that throw, the leg came off for Lydia Land there. I know that Derek Garland was upset. I think he was upset more maybe at the fact that she slid in on her, but that was not the call. So that helped lead to that 5-run inning. So we will go stand corrected on that. As Kaylee Law will lead off, and the pitch is outside. Law today is singled twice, reached on an error. She's 2 for 3. Nine to 9, fouled back to the screen. And it's 1-1. 6, 7, and 8 coming up for Lafayette. And it's inside. It's now 2-1.
And the amazing thing, Marty, is 9 runs on no errors.
No Lafayette errors in the game. There's the ball hitting right field. Bayo. Actually, they got to play it first, but not in time. She beat it as Law hustles down to first base. And again, a good idea out there in right field as Stedham made a good throw to first, but not in time. Kaylee Law is 3 for 4 today with 3 singles. And here's Ellen Lashley. She has 2 hits of her own. 2 for 3 as well. The bottom of this order doing a good job today for the Hornets, who now have 11 hits. Hit up the middle. That's into center field for a base hit. Here comes Lafayette again. Boy, neither one of these teams are giving up. Both teams are hitting the ball well. 12 hits for Lafayette. Jay has 9. 9-9 on the scoreboard. Jay has committed 4 errors, though. Otherwise, they're leading this game.
Now it's in the hands of Ashley Freeman, who doesn't have a hit on the game yet so far.
0 for 3. She did drive in a run with a sac fly in the 4th, looking to bunt, and she fouled it off. It's 0-1. Struck out in the 2nd, popped to short in the 3rd, and flew out to center in the 4th to drive in a run. Now she'll be behind 0-1. Showing bunt again, took the pitch up high. It's 1-1.
Possible pitching change coming up for the Hornets too.
As Lowry stays in, that's a good bunt. Tough play, and they're not going to be able to make a play. Lowry bobbles it, and the bases are loaded. Everyone's safe with nobody out. And once Lowry came out to make that play, the second baseman had to come over. It was going to be tough to get Freeman. That's going to be an infield hit. That's an error?
Error, yeah.
Okay. I don't think they're going to really get her on that play, but error charged to Lowry, which is her 2nd of the game. 5th error of the day for the Hornets, or pardon me, for the Royals. Bases loaded with nobody out for Lacey Swafford. She's reached on an error. 0 for 3 today officially. So now here's Lafayette coming right back after giving up that 5-run lead.
Ball high makes it 2-0 now.
A bit low, 3-0. So one more pitch, and Lafayette will take the lead. And right down the middle, nope. Ooh. Ball 4. And a bases loaded walk. Swafford brings in a run, and it's 10-9 as Law scores. The bottom of the order again getting it done for the Hornets. Back to the top of the order, Lydia Land, and now we are going to have a pitching change. It would appear. We'll see what Brian Watson wants to do here. As Lowry has thrown a lot of pitches. She's now given up 10 runs in 5+ innings. She's got the bases loaded with nobody out. Still here in the top of the 6th. 1 run in for Lafayette. Well, this is our first state championship game of the week, and boy, how wild it's been.
What a game so far.
It's been wild and wacky. And Lydia Land walked, scored in the 1st, as reached on an error, flown out twice. She's 0 for 3 today. Chance to bring in a run or 2. Bases loaded, nobody out here in the top of the 6th. called high, 1-0.
6 in a row.
Is up high, 2-0. Yeah, Lowry definitely starting to struggle with her control. She walked 2 in the first. She walked another in the fourth, and that was her 4th walk. Actually, 1 in the 5th, so her 5th walk here in the 6th inning as the pitch. There's a strike, 2-1. I was told by our. Oops, what do we have here? Thank you, Seth, as it's fouled back. Seth Plansky, the FHSAA, saying that whichever team loses the game of the highest score for a losing team in FHSAA championship game history, 1997 in 2A, Westminster Christian beat Florida Christian 9-7. Hit foul over by the third base side, and it's 2-2. 1992 in 3A, Newport Richie Ridgewood over Berkeley Prep 7-6. And in 2000 to 6A, Miami Palmetto over Sickles 6-5. No other losing team has scored more than 4 runs. All right, and there's a strike, and that is called strike 3. So Land strikes out. There's a big first out. Thanks to Seth Plansky, the FHSAA, for that info. And that is the 2nd strikeout of the game, so a big time for that for Sydney Lowry. Here's Sydney Shows. Shows takes the first pitch for a ball, 1-0. Base is still loaded, now 1 out. Shows has singled twice, scored 2 runs. She's 2 for 4. Infield in again at all 4 positions, and that will be a strike again on the inside corner. Now it's 0-2. Well, if you're Lafayette, you'd like to get more than 1 run in this inning, the way Jay's been swinging the bat.
Actually, they've got it 1-1.
It is 1-1. It's fouled back to the screen, 1-2. So we're going to have a little history today here in this 1A championship game. 1-2 is in the dirt. Good stop that time by Becca Calloway, and it's even now 2-2 on deck. Well, on deck is a problem. What do you do with Stacy McClellan with the bases loaded? 2-2 is hit up the middle into center field, base hit, gonna score 1. And Freeman to the plate, she will score as well. It's 12-9. A 2-run single for Sydney Shows, her 3rd hit of the day. And Lafayette again answers with 3 runs here in the top of the 6th. And now it's McClellan batting. 1st and 2nd with 1 out. And now with the base open, you could walk her, but again, you're going to face Osteen, who has 2 hits and 4 RBIs. What do you do here? First pitch is in for a strike, 0-1. So Lowry, at first glance, is going after her. What a game right now. Hit up the middle. Oh, what a play by the shortstop. They'll get a play on the fielder's choice, but Tessa Hendricks saving one up the middle. The fielder's choice 6-4. Runners go to 2nd, or 1st and 3rd with 2 outs, but what a play. That saved another run. As Shows is out at 2nd, so 2 outs, and now you'll face the pitcher, Lindsey Osteen. Osteen has singled, tripled, scored 2 runs, driven in 4. Also with 2 ground outs today. 1st and 3rd, 2 outs. First pitch outside, 1-0, and Callaway will run it out. I'm sure the runners don't go anywhere. A helicopter.
Can't tell if that's life flight or not.
The hospital is nearby here at the National Training Center as it's hit foul. Off to the right, 1-1. The scoreboard is fun to look at right now. 1-1 is outside. The throw will go to 3rd behind the runner, and not in time to get Swafford, and McClellan will go to 2nd. No throw. And the count is 1-1. 3-3 in the first, 2 in the 3rd for Lafayette, none for Jay. 3 in the 4th for Lafayette, 1 for Jay. It was 8-4. 1 in the 5th for Lafayette, 5 for Jay, and now 3 for Lafayette in the top of the 6th. So it's 12-9. The count now 3-1 to Osteen. Callie Sharp's on deck. And that's ball 4. So being careful that time with Osteen was Lowry, and Osteen will reach for the 3rd time today. That is walk number 6. 2 in the inning, and now Lafayette has batted around. Callie Sharp, the ninth hitter in the inning, 0 for 3 today. She's driven in a run, scored twice, reached on a walk in an error. Takes the first pitch for a ball, 1-0. A little surprised maybe that Jay didn't go for a pitching change here. Here's the 1-0. Hit to first base off the end of the bat. An easy play over there for Camille Driver. She'll step on first, and that will end the Lafayette top of the 6th. But again, the Hornets bat around. They had 8 batters come to the plate in the 3rd, 8 in the 4th, 9 here in the 6th. They get 3 runs on 3 hits, 2 walks. There was 1 error, and in the end, there were 2 runners left on base.
This is kind of like we said earlier, but this is kind of like the same thing that happened in the first game. It seemed like every time Auburndale scored, American Harriers would bounce back and score again. So Lafayette's doing the same thing.
The only difference,
they gave up 5 runs, and then they come back and scored 3.
Only difference here is Jay's actually caught Lafayette on 2 different occasions, and we're going to have a
pitching change.
Yeah, Stacy McClelland is going to come to the circle. She'll move from first base, so we'll see who goes in at first base.
Callie Sharp is at first.
Callie Sharp is at first.
Osteen's probably going to play short.
Yeah, because no, Sharp was at 3rd. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like Osteen will be at short. So at 3rd we have Sydney Shows. She'll go from short to 3rd. So we'll give you the numbers on McClelland, who has not pitched this week yet. She's 10-0. Her 12th appearance has 9 starts, 54 innings pitched, allowed 46 hits, 19 earned runs, 6 walks, 29 strikeouts, and a 2.46 ERA. And she is going to replace Osteen, who kind of ran out of gas in the last inning there. But also, Jay had some balls drop in there. 5 innings pitched for Osteen. And she allowed 9 hits, pardon me. 9 runs. All 9 earned, no errors in the game. And 1, 2, 3, 4 walks. And 2 strikeouts, also hit a batter. So McClelland will face Tessa Hendricks. Lead off the bottom of the 6th. Jay had 10 batters come to the plate last inning. 5 runs scored. Hendricks is 1 for 3, singled and scored in the 5th. Also was grounded out and popped up. First pitch taken for a ball from McClelland, 1-0. McClelland, left-hander.
2 different styles of pitcher here, you'll see.
Pitch up high, and it's 2-0.
Whereas Osteen was more of a ground ball, allow her defense to get the outs. McClelland, fastball, strike him out.
2-0. And it's on the inside corner for a strike, 2-1. Well, much like our game earlier today, 5A, we are closing in on the 2-hour mark here in this 1A championship. And the 2-1 is in for a strike. It's a ball, 3-1. So 3-1 for McClelland against Tessa Hendricks. Jay obviously has shown they can come back in this game. And outside corner for a strike, 3-2.
Last thing, if you're Lafayette, last thing you want to do is put people on base.
Yeah, Lafayette again has committed no errors. They have 13 hits, but Jay has 9 hits. They have committed 5 errors. Hit in the hole as Osteen tries to knock it down. She does, no play. And that'll be an infield hit for Hendricks. Her second hit in as many innings as the ball hit in the hole. And Osteen knocks it down, but has no play. So there's the leadoff runner for Jay here in the bottom of the 6th. for a strike. Throw to second and not in time. Osteen comes across to cut it off, and Hendricks with a stolen base. So Hendricks already at second with nobody out. I thought the pitch was called a strike. It's 0-1 to Callaway. Callaway has walked, singled, scored 2 runs. He is 1 for 2, also flown out to center. 0-1, that was up over her head, and it's 1-1. Well, the rain stopped not as quickly as it began.
Let's hope, yes.
The umbrellas are back down. It's definitely cooled off again. Nice here in the afternoon. As the sun has gone down, 1-1 misses up high, and it's 2-1. Two-1 is popped up into short left. Actually, Osteen will come over and make the play in fair territory. The shortstop Osteen makes the catch for out number 1 as Callaway pops up to Lindsey Osteen. 1 out. Here is Camille Driver, 2 for 4, 2 singles, 2 RBIs, actually 2 for 3. Also a fly to right field. She singled in a run in the first and in the 5th and scored a run back in the first. Driver into right field, but on the run, making the catch and getting the ball quickly in out there. That is Lacey Swafford. Nice. That ball might go over her head, and she made a nice play for the second out.
Yeah, nice catch service for her.
So 2 outs now. Ball hit well by Driver, but lines out right to Swafford and right. Here's Gilman, the left fielder. She's 0 for 2. Walked back in the first. She also was a strikeout victim in the 5th. Brittany Gilman, the left fielder for the Jay Royals, as the first pitch misses up and in, 1-0. We have another game tonight, the 5A championship game coming up at 7:05. Bellevue versus Plantation American Heritage. So they pitch in for a strike. It's 1-1.
He's in the bullpen waiting for us.
Kelly Neff is in the bullpen. We're going to bring in the righty for our next game tonight. The 1-1 from the lefty, McClellan, is check swing in for a strike anyway. 1-2 now to Gilman, and now McClellan, after allowing a leadoff single, chance to get out of this inning with no damage. One-two, runner at second, 2 outs. The pitch. Ooh, a little high. I think McClellan wanted that one. And it's counts even now at 2-2. All right, and the 2-2 on the way for McClellan is hit to second. Easy play for Law on to first in time, and the Hornets now are 3 outs away from a state championship as Jay, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a runner left on base. We go to the 7th in this 1A state title game. Lafayette 12 and Jay 9 here on the FHSAA network. The 1A state championship game for the National Training Center here, the softball complex in Clermont, Florida, Lake County. Marty Paulman along with Corey Davis, and what a wild one we've had tonight, this afternoon here in 1A.
Yeah, this one and then earlier today, it's kind of went back and forth. We've seen 2 wild games.
So American Heritage will come back, and there you see the score line. 3-3 at the end of the first. Stay that way until the third. Lafayette with 2 in the third to go up 5-3. They get 3 in the top of the fourth to lead 8-3. Jay with a run in the bottom of the fourth to make it 8-4. Lafayette a run in the top of the fifth, made it 9-4, but then Jay ties it up with 5 in the bottom of the fifth, and Lafayette comes back with 3 in the top of the sixth. Looks like lotto numbers. Pick 6, 302, 315, but it's been a busy day. 313, pardon me, for Lafayette. And 300, 150 for Jay. But Lafayette now needs 3 more outs on defense to win their first ever state softball title. They lead at 12-9. They've out-hit Jay 13-10.
I got a feeling that they're feeling like they need to keep scoring runs.
I would agree. And 5 errors for Jay, none for Lafayette. Well, here we go as Kaylee Law will lead off the top of the 7th. 3 singles for her today, and will this be a 4th? Yes, it will. Ball knocked down by Stewart, but no chance to get Law. Pretty good speed over there. She has 4 singles today. 4 for 5, and she's at first, lead off the top of the 7th. Hit number 14 for the Hornets. Actually, that was Law. So here's Lashley. She has 3 singles of her own in a run scored. 3 for 4 for her today. As Sydney Lowry continues in the circle for Jay. See if Lafayette with a runner at first, nobody out, will try to move the runner over and get another run as the pitch in for a strike. 1-1 now. Oh, 0-1, or 0-2, pardon me, it is the count. And the 0-2 misses outside. It's 1-2 now to Lashley. Single the 3rd, 4th, and the 6th. And ground out in the 1st for Lashley, who scored a run in the 3-run 6th inning. 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. So Lowry comes back to get a strikeout of Lashley, and that is only the 3rd strikeout of the day for Lowry, but that's 1 out here in the 7th. Ashley Freeman finally reached base last inning on an error, later scored a run. She's 0 for 3 today with an RBI on a sac fly and bunts the ball foul back to the backstop. It's 0-1. This part of the order really got things going in the 6th inning. Law singled, Lashley singled, Freeman reached on an error.
Really the only unproductive part of the entire lineup has been the 8-9.
But Freeman's driven in a run. She scored a run. Swafford drove in a run with a bases loaded walk last inning. And
well, I'm saying, but they don't have a hit, I'm saying, as far as...
Yeah, that's true. 0-2 and a swing and a miss, and all of a sudden Lowry gets back-to-back strikeouts as Freeman swings through it. And now 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. And now it's Swafford, as we just mentioned. She is 0 for 3 today. Reached on an error, walked in a run last inning. Cho singled in 2 later in the inning as the first pitch of ball 1-0. Due up in the bottom of the 7th for the J Royals. 7, 8, 9, Lowry, Stewart, and Stedham. And it hasn't been that bad as Stewart has a hit. Lowry has a hit. She's reached base 3 times on a walk and a hit batter, and Stedham drove in a run with a sac fly. 1-1 the count to Swafford. Swing and a miss, 1-2 as Swafford falls behind against Lowry. Stacey McClellan will face those 3 in the bottom of the 7th. 1-2 up high, 2-2. Kaylee Law at second, or at first, with 2 outs. Here's the 2-2. Hit down the third base side and a play on top of the dugout, and it remains 2-2.
Ball
makes it 3-2. And the pitch on the way from Lowry is ball 4. Gets away as Law down to second anyway, and that's a walk for Lowry. As she walked Swafford last inning, walks her again here in the 7th. That's the 6th walk. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th walk for Lowry. First and second, 2 outs. Lydia Land back at the top of the order. Her 6th at bat today, although she has a walk, so she's only actually 4 official at bats. 0 for 4, scored a run in the first after she walked to lead off the game. First pitch is the ball, 1-0. Is the ball outside, 2-0. Sydney Shows on deck, has 3 hits, 2 RBIs today. 2-0 inside corner. That's a strike, 2-1. There are 2 outs of the runners at first and second. And the 1-1. Actually, it's a 2-1, and it's inside for ball 3. So 3-1 now to Land. And that is ball 4. So another walk, second of the inning, and now walk number 8 for Lowry. Back-to-back walks. The bases are loaded with 2 outs. And Sydney Shows will hit 3 for 5 with 3 singles, 2 runs scored, and drove in 2 last inning, and a 2-run single to give Lafayette a 12-9 lead. And now here comes a meeting of the circle once again.
If you're Jay, you definitely want to get this out because you don't want McClellan come to bat with definitely.
I feel like she's been up every other at bat today.
Well, she's been up 5 times.
She's been up almost every inning. Yep. And she is walked twice. She's 2 for 3 then. And in fact, well, you can't put Shows anywhere. Shows is 3 for 5. Her 6th at bat. Land is now 0 for 4, but she's walked twice as the pitch is a strike. The Shows 0-1. 5 till 6, approaching 2 hours in this 1A state championship game. Actually, an hour 50. Back to the circle. Lowry will get up, make a nice throw to first. A tough play, but she gets Shows out 1-3, and that will end the top of the 7th. And Lafayette leaves the bases loaded. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 walks, 3 left on base. To the bottom of the 7th we go. Jay needs 3 to tie, 4 to win. This won a softball championship game. They trail Lafayette 12-9 here on the FHSAA network. Marty Paulman along with Corey Davis.
And this game lies in the hand of the girl that she's responsible for several of his hits today. And now this game is in her hands literally as a pitcher now. Stacey McClellan makes her final appearance on the mound as a high school. She's a senior, and she'll go off to Indian River Community College.
Indian River State College.
Can she get these last 3 outs?
Down in Vero Beach, and yes, that is the question. She needs 3 outs, and she'll face the bottom of the J order. Sydney Lowry, who's 1 for 1 today, has reached base on a walk, drove in a run, the bases loaded walk in the 1st, was hit by a pitch in the 5th, singled in the 4th. Michaela Stewart is 1 for 2 with a sacrifice. She's driven in 2 runs and scored a run. Samantha Stedham, stop it, Corey. It's a party in the U.S. A little Miley Cyrus. Corey getting down to the party in the USA. Stedham's 0 for 2 with an RBI and a sac fly. Somebody needs a picture of it. Somebody put a camera on Corey up here. He's dancing. And the crowd is on their feet. What a game this has been in 1A. Our first state championship game of 8 this week, and we have seen a little bit of everything. One thing we haven't seen is an error by Lafayette, but we've seen hits by both teams as Corey knocks on the table. That would be Wood, I guess. There's a strike to Lowry, and McClellan will get ahead 0-1. And it would figure, like you said, that Stacey McClellan has been the hitting hero all season and her entire career at Lafayette. Now trying to close it out in the circle. 0-1 is popped up into center. Here comes Freeman. She'll make the catch. 1 out. Ashley Freeman almost on the infield dirt makes the play. 1 out. 2 more to go for the Lafayette Hornets. Michaela Stewart will bat. Stewart is 2 for 2 today. She singled twice, driven in 2, and also with a sacrifice. And scored a run. Shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. And now McClellan looks in. The 0-1 pitch. Hit to short. Osteen has it. On to first. In time. Nice play over there at first base as Sharp able to stretch and make the play. 2 outs, 1 more to go for Lafayette. For Jay, it's going to be up to Samantha Stedham, the number 9 hitter, the 8th grader. She's 0 for 2 today with an RBI sac fly. There's a strike right down the middle from Stacy McClellan. It's 0-1. Now looking in is McClellan, the 0-1. Chop just foul over third base side around the Lafayette dugout. It's 0-2, and now for Derek Garland's team, one more strike. Jay has battled back all day, but they're down to their final strike now. And boy, they have given quite an effort today. They could have gone away a couple of times, but they've come back twice. Popped up on the infield. This will do it. Law makes the catch, and the Lafayette Hornets out of Mayo are the 1A state softball champions for 2012. Derek Garland will meet with his team on the infield, and Lafayette state finalists in 2010, made the Final Four in 2007, and in 2001 has won that state title, first for them in the history of their softball program. And it was Kaylee Law, the second baseman, who had 4 hits today and was one of the major reasons why this Lafayette team wins the state title, who catches the final out. And Corey, a wild game here today in this 1A state title game, and hopefully that's a preview of what we're going to see the rest of the week here in Clermont. But finally, Lafayette gets the 3 runs in the 6th, and Stacy McClellan shuts down Jay the final 2 innings. In fact, she allowed a leadoff single in the 6th and retired 6 in a row.
Yeah, crazy game here. You know, this is a game that we thought Lafayette was in control with early on. Up to, it was 8-4 at one point.
It was 8-3. It was 9-4. And again, give Jay credit. Lafayette got 3 in the first. Jay came right back with 3 in the bottom of the first. It was 9-4 Lafayette going in the bottom of the 5th. Jay scored 5 in the inning, but then the key there, Lafayette came right back with 3 runs in the top of the 6th, and that was enough as Lafayette scores 3 in the first, 2 in the third, 3 in the fourth, 1 in the 5th, and 3 in the 6th. They scored in every inning but the 2nd and the 7th. They at 25-4 are state champions. Jay's season, a great run for them, ends here in the state championship game. Their first appearance in the FHSAA softball finals at 21-4. They scored 3 in the first, 1 in the fourth, and 5 runs in the 5th. Well, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was.
And I know as you have covered a lot of Lafayette events, you're very happy to see the Lafayette Hornets win a state championship.
Well, I was here 2 years ago for this, and you know, they got down to the state championship game. They won their semifinal game, and then had to go up against, unfortunately, the powerhouse Pine Castle Christian, who was also back in the Final Four. You know, and to see them lose, you know, 2 years ago, and now come back 2 years later and win a state championship, says a lot about this program.
Well, that is the highest score for a losing team in the history of the FHSAA in the championship game in softball. We mentioned that earlier. Thanks to Seth Polanski of the FHSAA for that information. 1997 had been the previous highest scoring game. Westminster Christian over Florida Christian 9-7. That's when Westminster was in the midst of their runs there in softball, and then they have also won many titles in baseball, but that is the highest score there, 9 runs for Jay in a losing effort in the history of the FHSAA softball finals. All right, guys, let me know. Are we staying here or are we for the medals? Okay, we will stay here for the ceremony, and we will see Lafayette accept their championship trophy, and the Jay Royals accept the runner-up trophy here for Class 1A.
And that they will give them a 10-minute warm-up period, or cool-down period, and then Jay will individually get all their awards, and so will the coaches, and then after Jay's done, they'll give all the awards to Lafayette, the state champions.
All right, so for Corey and I, we will sign off, let you watch the ceremony here of this 1A championship game, and get ready for the 5A championship coming up, well, in about an hour. 7:05, the first pitch between Bellevue and Plantation American Heritage. Kelly Neff will have the call of that game here in Clermont. For Corey Davis and for our entire crew here on site of the National Training Center Softball Complex in Clermont, I am Marty Paulman saying so long. Stay tuned now for the medal ceremony. Reminder, for DVD of this broadcast or any broadcast of the 2012 FHSAA Softball Finals, go to FHSAAsports.com. It's a great gift for family, friends, or the athletes who especially for Lafayette and Jay. You want to remember this memory of this state championship game. This has been a production of Play On Sports and the FHSAA Network. Congratulations to the Mayo Lafayette Hornets, Class 1A state champions, as they defeat Jay 12-9. And stay tuned here for the awards ceremony as Lafayette wins its first ever state softball championship here from Clermont. So long for now.